Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Faith, Finance, and Forgiveness podcast. My name is Janae of janaeam.com. I'm a financial consultant and licensed professional, and I teach people how to manage their money so they can save more, do more, and get out of debt. So welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, please make sure that you follow if you're on SoundCloud and subscribe if you're on YouTube. This episode is being sponsored by The Blueprint, an online course helping you to prepare for home ownership. You can find out more and enroll at bit.ly/the blueprint to buying a home. That's bit.ly/the blueprint to buying a home. Now, also, if this is your first time listening, if you want to share this information with someone, I definitely encourage you to do it. And you can do it just by hitting the share button. You can share on social media or share via email. So today's topic is while you wait. So me being a single woman, and also happy Financial Literacy Month, because we're still in the month of April. So I'm a single woman, and I know, especially being a leader in the church, I know that we as single women, a lot of us who are, on the mature side, no offense to, any other of you ladies, but you're maturing in God, you're growing in God, and so you're not really pressed to be in a relationship. You want to be in one. And you want your next one to be your last one, but you're not really pressing the issue. You're not really rushing things, but you want the next time to be the last time. So you want to do things the right way. And so because you're waiting and being patient, you have this time available that you can be maximizing while you're waiting. So if you are a single woman and you respect God's design for marriage, and you want to be an asset and not a liability and a true helpmeet, then we're going to talk about how you can make the most of your time as a single woman. So as professional women, we're good at doing a lot of things, but money may not be one of them. If you just be completely honest with yourself, if you're not good with your finances, that's fine. It's a skill. It can be learned, and you can improve over time. But the key is to be important. The key is to be honest with yourself. So money may not be one of your best skills. You may know how to make it, and you may make a lot of it. But when you think about it, if your expenses are pretty high compared to your income, your savings account isn't really growing, and outside of a 401k or an IRA, you don't really have any investments, then I want you to make sure you keep listening, because this broadcast is definitely going to help you. So I know me personally, I just like learning new things. And because I am a financial professional, when it comes to finances, I'm always looking to give myself access to learning more and knowing more. And so because I've been fortunate to be in different circles around people who look completely different than I do, and who has, more commas in their bank account than I do, I've been fortunate to learn some really great things that I want to share with you all to give you that same access as well. So I know one of the things that, me personally, that I'm looking forward to when I get married is bringing money to the table to help add to our household. Now, my desire this year is to pay all my debt off, and then next year, I'll work on getting my house ready before I transition to Texas, the following year. But outside of paying my debt off, then I'll be able to focus exclusively on saving more aggressively and investing. So those are things that I'm doing right now and things that are in progress. And so when my Prince Charming comes, I won't have any debt. I'll have a diversified portfolio, and that will help add to the household. Now, the man is still a provider, and I give you that, and I support that message. But financially, me personally, I want to be an asset and not a liability. And if we be honest and truthful, if we want someone who is financially secure, then we ourselves need to be financially secure. So by me putting in the work now, I'm putting in the work because I want someone who is my equal or better. So I want somebody who financially we're equally yoked, because I know what it's like to be in a relationship with somebody whose credit is not great, who doesn't make a lot of money. And so that puts a stress and a strain on me. And you may not want to deal with that. You may not want to deal with that in a relationship. And so it's important that you know those things, because again, this is a lifetime that you're going to spend with this person. Now, it does not mean that you won't experience any kind of financial hardship together. Just the way the flow of money goes and life goes, there may be some of that, but the more you can do so that way up front, things are just a little bit easier and a lot more comfortable. That's who I'm talking to on this broadcast. So you may think that what you have is good enough, and if you think so, great. But I'm talking to those who really wants to build up her house financially, what you need to be doing now. So how do you start from where you are? And I'm going to give 3 tips. And then I'll provide where you can find some resources to help you with each of these things. So the first thing that you want to do is list out all of your expenses for the month. And you want to compare that to what you make after taxes. Now, if what you're spending is real close to, like within $200 of what you bring home every month after taxes, then you need to be looking at making some adjustments, so that way you can free up some money that you can save. So that's the first thing. And if you go on my website, on the training section, there's a building a budget tool that can help you once you've listed out your expenses, a cool spreadsheet that you can use to be able to document all of those expenses. And if you're not a fan of spreadsheets, it has some great alternatives that you can use, so that way you can document it, store it, organize it, and have it handy. Because as you make adjustments this one time, you want to constantly be holding yourself accountable for how you say that you're spending. And you want to continuously keep this in front of you, so that way you can make as many adjustments as needed. I think within $200 is a little tight. So if you can get to living off of no more than 70% of what you bring home, you're doing really, really good. The second is to list out all of your debts. Now, this is important because whatever shows up on your credit report is considered debt in terms of something that you have to pay back. So you want to be mindful of what those are, because what's one of the purchases that couples have when they get married? A brand new house. So you want to make sure that your credit won't be a hindrance when you go to make that step with your husband. Now, again, not speaking for him, but as for you and your household where you are right now, you need to make sure your credit is right. And so you can start by listing out all of your debts. And I have a training also in the same section of my website about credit. But in terms of the debt, you want to make sure that you list them all out. And you want to take some of the money that you found in step 1 and just pay a little bit more than the minimum on, the smallest debt that you have, and just keep paying an extra $100 a month. And then when that's finished, take the money that you was paying for that and start paying it on one of the other debts that's listed. And so that way you have something that you're working on and working towards, and you're paying down your debt a lot faster, so you can position yourself to be debt-free before you get married. Hopefully, if you can do it within that amount of time. And then lastly, you want to set up another savings account. And why do I recommend this? Because when I surveyed a lot of millennials, a few different responses was, and the majority was that they have to choose between saving and between fun, because things come up and they end up using their money that they saved to help take care of whatever things came up. So to remedy that, the solution is to set up another savings account, preferably one that is far away from your current savings account and your checking account. So it's really money that you can forget about and kind of tuck it away, but you know that it's there. And of course, you want to make sure that you're sending money there on a consistent basis. So these are 3 things that you could be working on right now while you wait before your husband comes, so that way financially you can be more of an asset than a liability in the household. Now, to help you with each of these things, if you go to the training section of my website, which is jeneem.com, that's JENEEM.com. When you go to the training section, there are training videos that touch on each of the things we talked about. The first one with listing out your expenses, that's building a budget. The second one with your debts is destroying debt. There's also one there with a crash course on credit. If your credit score is under 700, I highly recommend you check that out. And then the last one about savings, I have a training also called Saving Strategically. That touches on creating a personal savings strategy. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you'll start implementing this. If you know of a girlfriend or even a family member, a cousin, a sister, an aunt that is very serious about preparing for marriage, and they want to become the best version of themselves, then I want you to share this with them, either to their social media page, or you can share this with them via email. Also, please be sure that you follow or subscribe, so that way you stay connected and get access to future episodes. And thank you all again for tuning in, and I look forward to catching up with you on the next podcast. Take care.